All right, today I'm going to go through how I set up my AI custom car sets for iRacing. Um, this is the one that I've been doing the 2026 Cup Series on, which is basically the Cup cars with trading paints, number stamped cars, but I also swap these out. So I'm going to go through how I set that up. So first off, we can go to Trading Paints. And in Trading Paints, you can have the free account, but you're going to go up at the top over to Showroom Collections, which will pull up a bunch of different cars here. Takes a second to load, but like this one at the top, you could use basically any one of these as the starting template. Basically, you want anything that says AI ready here. And to sort by that, you can come over to this drop down menu and turn off the non-AI collections. But you want to start with an AI collection. It'll probably be easiest. And if you do that, you just hit the star, or you probably have to load it. And up at the top, you click favorite, and it'll add it to your car sets in iRacing. Eventually, you may have to reload the UI. But if we go into the iRacing screen, where you're going to find this is going to be AI single player on the left hand side, and then your opponent rosters. And some of these are local to my machine, and some of these are AI or Trading Paints rosters that automatically get updated. So if they are a Trading Paints, you're going to have to copy the car set. So we can go through that now. If I go in here, this is a AI car set that I'm going to walk through a little bit here in a little bit to show you how to get the paints. But if you come to manage roster here at the bottom, you can copy as new, and it'll copy all the parameters that are set by the AI roster. Now, obviously, this doesn't have the correct names, but if you pick one of these AI collections, typically these are set up with the driver names correct, and you'll have a rating set to start with. Now you can edit that as well in iRacing for one. So you can come in here and edit the attributes. You do want to copy this as a new file, which will make it a local file before you edit them, because otherwise it's just gonna overwrite with the AI roster. But if you copy it as new, you can edit them right on the machine. So if I open up my local, we have all the drivers here. And if I want to edit them, I can through iRacing. However, it's hard to know or quickly update things because you can't really copy and paste. So there is one program that I like to use that kind of can help with that. This isn't my preferred method, but this is IR Sidekick AIEdit. So if we open up this season as well, or this roster, you can see as the paints load, you can edit roster ratings and stuff. This is much easier to I thought this one you could, maybe you can't bulk edit in this, but anyway, pretty sure you can copy and make duplicates of drivers. I use this primarily for swapping paints, which I'm going to walk through here in a second. The other program is AI Randomizer, or iRacing AI Randomizer. So with this, you can do the same thing. If you open a roster, let me figure out. I think if you just open this, you set a roster through iRacing, and you can load it up in here. And it'll give you, you can bulk edit, kind of like the old N ratings program for NASCAR Racing 2003 season. But this, you can set ranges and full-time drivers as well. So some of these drivers are not full-time, but it'll grab all the full-time guys. And if you have a additional slots beyond the full-time guys, it'll randomize who gets pulled for the part-timers that make a race. But in here, you can bulk edit ratings, which I find kind of handy if there's like a group of drivers that are kind of similar, and you can set a range so you can randomize this for each race so not everybody performs the same every time out, which is kind of interesting. But that being said, that's got to do with setting up the drivers. What I really want to get into is how do I get the paint schemes and swap those out. So go back into trading paints. We'll go to the showroom. And what I do, or what I have done, typically I've started this at the beginning of 2026. So I'll go to the newest, find the next gen, and I only want the custom number cars to come up. This will load. Sometimes you have to refresh with the parameters, don't always pick up the first time around. So we get the newest SVG car. For trading paints, I always left or right click, open in a new tab. But you can see this is a custom number car on this banner here on this page. So I've started a collection, and I actually got 2 running collections I add. So I do a missing paints roster, and I do a roster for each of the makes. So I know which cars are in my roster. If I happen to delete one, I can go back and find it. But what's important here is this missing cup paints roster is where I save it to. So I know that I don't have this car saved locally on my files, which we will need to do to swap paints out. So to find these paints, oftentimes you can go by, if somebody has made one, sometimes they've made multiple. So I've got several mix paints, which I only use for the AI. I don't re-upload these or anything. These are their paints. I don't take credit for any of their stuff. But they are helpful to get paint schemes for the AI rosters, which is much like NR 2003. So you can see here there's a Hocevar, there's a Chastain, there's Cody Ware. So basically I go through and save all these paints on in that driver roster, and then we'll go and load them up. So right now, we'll go find our roster through collections. So this is my own personal collection. I don't share this with anybody. So we got the 2026 missing cup paints. Right now I got 10 cars in here that we're going to go grab right now. These are mostly special schemes, as most of the base schemes have made it already into iRacing or already ran in the season. But basically we got 10 paints here, and I'll show you how we get them. So if we come back to iRacing, the UI, we're going to do a single race. Now, none of this really matters, but it's already set up for my Bristol race, which I haven't ran yet. So we're going to go through, just make sure all the options are selected. None of this is particularly critical, except for when we get to the AI opponents. We want the roster that we're updating from trading paints. This is our missing cup paint, so this automatically gets downloaded from iRacing. Right now we only have 3 drivers out of 9, but we're going to crank this up. So I did just add 1 car to the roster. Not always does it get updated right away. Sometimes it takes a day. I don't know if you have to restart the UI. For me, it's not critical because I won't use that paint for a couple weeks. So when I come in here the next time to do this, I will get that paint. But we're only going to get 9 of the 10 today. So if it's critical for you to get that, I don't know how to fix it. I think you may have to relaunch the UI in order to get 10 out of 10. Something to do with the update speed of the AI roster versus the UI, and I'm using IR Sidekick, so maybe that's not pulling all the drivers. But anyway, right now we got 9, which is fine. We're gonna load up the track to be able to download them into the space. And as you'll see, none of these car numbers match, which is completely fine because I'm just looking for the paint file right now. Sometimes it'll, because I got like 2 number 11s, it'll pull the first 11, but then the second 11 can't assign to number 11. It's fine. The only time that becomes an issue is when your driving roster in trading paints is so large that it doesn't know what number to assign it to because number 11's taken, but then it starts numbering in the hundreds. Sometimes when you save, it gives you an error, but we just want to get these cars onto the track. I'm going to skip through practice. We're going to go straight to the race. I probably could have turned practice and qualifying off because those aren't really critical. I'll give it a sec before it can process the skip. The other thing I'm going to do while I'm in here, and this is just my own personal preference, but I like to record from a camera angle a perspective of the cars so I know which ones I have scanned. That way when I go back to delete them later, that's a little easier to know which ones I already have. So that's the pace car. But we got the 77 here. I'll bring that up. So we got the 77, the 20, the 33, the 1, both 11s, the 54, the 51. There's 2 51s. Are these the same? I don't know why it gave me 2 51s. Anyway, we won't worry about it. We're missing the 97, obviously. There's one other car, must be, that we are missing. But we're just going to quit out of this. And now we want to go into our iRacing folder. So this is my documents folder. This is where iRacing saves everything. And in here, if you have the IR Sidekick, I believe it's going to be... Nope, it's not going to be in there. It's in the Sidekick folder itself. And then AI Livery. So now we have 3 cars in here. They're the stock cars. Oh, this is where I've been. So this is where I've been saving them. Sorry. Let me back up. So after we exit the session, you're going to want to come in to your iRacing documents folder. You are going to go into AI rosters at the top. And we just ran the missing cup paints. So these are the car number files. These are the paint files here. These car num, these 9 items, those are the cars that we just ran. And I'll show you how to decode these in a second. There's also spec files here. I don't end up ever saving those. I don't think you can run them through the AI editor, this program. I don't think you can assign... You can change the car or delete the livery, but I never do any of those. I don't think you can assign a spec map, so I never end up saving these. But if we want to swap these out, come up to the paint gun up here at the top, this top bar, and you click on it, and it's going to give you... These are all the files that I have saved. So I'll show you where these save. So I just duplicated this so I can go back to the other page. But if we go back to the main iRacing folder with IR Sidekick, you can come down to the Sidekick folder and then AI Livery. All these files on all the paint schemes you see on my left side. These are saved here in the Chevy Camaro 2022 car. And I renumber these so I know which ones are which. So any car that any car number, I number with 2 digits. So the one car is 01, and then the first scheme for the 01 car is 01. So this is this Busch Light car up here, which I can open in Affinity here in a sec. But I just number these with the leading car number, or the car number in 2 digits, and then like a code or a number of the paint scheme, just so they show in order. And that's where we will be saving these schemes in the paint roster. So one way to do it is kind of difficult, but if at the top of the AI livery, you come over to iRacing paints, you can find the number files in this iRacing paints folder. Now, sometimes these don't always like to load. Sometimes it's a real pain to get them to load. So that's why I don't really like to rely on this. But for instance, this Kubota scheme here, this number, the 1161158, that is this car right here. So if we open this in Affinity, which is like Photoshop for me, it'll open that Kubota scheme, as you'll see. We got the Kubota scheme. So this I end up copying into my AI livery folder so we can save it for later, so we can run it. So I come back to the AI livery, or even look at the files. I did have an 07 car. That one is now disappeared, probably because I had a duplicate I saved. But I just take this, eliminate the car number, or the num underscore the number that it displays, put 0107, and we're going to cut this into this folder. And then we can do that for the rest of them. However, I'm going to do this the easier way. Just open them in Photoshop. So this is the 20 car. So actually, I like to open each folder so it's easier to find which one I'm looking in. Each car folder, each make. So we got the Toyota, the 20 car. That would be 2012 would be the number we should put on that one. So I'm just going to go through and number all these, and we'll catch back up after I am done. All right, so we're just wrapping up here. I'm going to copy these 3 into the Chevy folder. And we should be done. Now I can close out of this. And we'll take a look here. So if we go and load up all the Toyotas, so now we have no numbers or no files in our missing cup paints. But if we look here, not quite loaded yet. So let's reload all the liveries. Sometimes this program gets really overloaded, so it doesn't always like to load. There we go. So we got the 11 with the stars, the Bob's Furniture. We got the Hawaiian Bites, which just was loaded. And if we come down here, we'll have Ty Gibbs's special patriotic monster car right here. So that's loaded. And then let's go back to the Camaro. Sometimes this also takes a couple clicks to end up changing your roster or your car make. So what we have? We had a 33. The Chevy folder is really big, so this usually takes the longest time. Yeah, so we got the Zone 33 that we just added. That shows up here. We had a 51, which I got, there's so many of those. That one's in here. We had a 77. That one's in here, and we had another one, I think. We didn't get the 97, though that was in our list. That'll show up the next time I think we end up opening. There was another car, I thought. Anyway, you can see all the cars I got here. So these are not every paint scheme from the season, but there's quite a lot that people do. Oh, the one car was in here. That's the one we added. Like the 4, well, I guess 4 is a Ford, but the 7, there's only 2 Suarez cars I've been able to find for the custom numbers. Some are better than others. Usually the, Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, those are the ones that get painted a lot. But so that's just getting the paints into the file. Now, if we want to update our roster, so we have 2020. This is my local file. So this is 2026 Cup Series. This is saved. This is a roster saved locally to my machine. So any changes here are not going to get overridden by trading paints. But if we want to add that one car, it's really just drag and drop. You drag this paint scheme, drop it there, and if we come up here, we can save over the roster. And the next time out, we'll have the Kubota scheme. And it's really just that simple. Just drag and drop. That's how you swap schemes out. So you do have to save them locally. Don't abuse what people provide. I don't re-upload these. I don't edit them. They're really just for me to be able to create something that's semi-realistic and swapping, schemes out race to race, because they don't run like a single scheme anymore for the most part. But yeah, if you have any questions, I guess feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, it is a little labor intensive to get all the schemes. You do have to search for them all. And you do have to download them, save them locally, and to be able to swap them out. But unless they implement some other way to do this, this is the workaround. This is how you do it. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's not like NR 2003 where you just get the paint file. You kind of have to work around to get to the paint file. But yeah, that's how I do it. Save them all locally. You have to number them all. It ends up being a little bit of an exercise. Oh, the other thing, I've also been using, I come to my paint file here, AI roster, on Reddit, they've been using, or people have been making spotter guides for the races. That's how I kind of compare, what paint schemes are coming up, or which paint schemes to use, I guess. So if I come up here, I've kind of already sorted this out for Bristol, but like the Ross Chastain Bass cars there. We got the 2, the 3, the 4, like the front row cars. Not a lot of paint schemes get made, but we've got the 5, we got the 6. Yeah, this Suarez car I haven't been able to find. Kyle Busch is still in the roster. We got the 9. Then when we get to here, sometimes you have to reload the roster in order to see the car, because sometimes they get stuck. There's just too much information it's trying to process. I didn't want to do that, but I'm back out of that. So yeah, we don't have the 10 car. I don't have that logistics car. We got the Hamlin car, the Ryan Blaney. I haven't found the discount tire for this model car. I think it was based off an old gen. But anyway, you get the point. I just use a spotter guide to be able to quickly reference, what cars are in the field for the week. And then after Bristol, we go to Kansas. So I do have some of these cars because they're already at San Diego. So running a couple weeks behind is actually a benefit because these cars get painted by the time I get there. So anyway, that's how I do this. Yeah, any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll try to answer. But that's how I go about this. And one thing I forgot before we leave here, after I download paint schemes, I just come back to the roster on Trade in Paints, go into edit the roster, and delete the ones that I grabbed. So we're going to delete all of these. I'm going to leave this. I accidentally deleted the paint scheme. It is a different paint scheme, slightly. There's a little bit of changes to it from the other one, but we'll leave the 97 in there because we didn't download that one. But basically, we just go in, save the changes, and it sometimes gives you an error up here for duplicate numbers. But otherwise, it should save if you're really worried about it. You come down here and just put in a random number. Okay, well, it's still going to say that. But anyway, that's how you fix that. And you should see here, there's still 2 cars left. So next time I do this, I'll have to download those. But otherwise, that's how you update the online roster.